What is the proper way to make a potato tower? And is it worth your time and effort, or should you just plant potatoes in the ground? Check out my latest video on potato towers.
Hello, this is Stephen from Short Season Garden, and I offer tips and tricks for gardening in any climate, but especially for short seasons like here in Zone 3B, Zone 4A in Eastern Canada. So give my video a thumbs up and a comment, subscribe to my channel, or you can check me out on Instagram or Facebook at Short Season Garden.
I live in potato country in northwest New Brunswick, Canada, and have lots of space with good soil, so I have no real reason to grow potatoes in a tower. However, about 3 years ago, I became intrigued by the fact that some potatoes are considered indeterminate, much like their tomato cousins, and thought I would like to see if the tubers would grow up the plant. I really put little research into my potato towers. It was just a fun experiment. I thought it was neat the way the potatoes grew up the pails, even though the tubers didn't, so I put the results on YouTube. Many viewers were quick to point out that my potato towers were not properly made. Number 1, I should have used a wire cage instead of plastic pails. Number 2, instead of planting a single potato in each tower, I should have planted layers of potatoes in each tower. Number 3, it was pointed out that potato towers should be filled with a mixture of straw and compost. In my defense, I did use a lot of compost and some straw as well. Number 4, I should have had a tube extending down into the towers to water the spuds from the bottom up. I decided to redo the experiment with more proper towers. My wire cages were admittedly small, not quite 2 feet in diameter, and about 2 feet tall. I pushed the wire cage into the ground and then pounded lengths of rebar along the edges to keep it from falling over with the weight of the soil and plants. Then I put a piece of solid 4-inch perforated drain pipe in the center for watering. I had 3 5-pound bags of seed potatoes, 1 bag of russet Burbank, and 2 bags of russet Umatilla. I planted my Burbanks in the first tower and reserved the 2 bags of Umatilla for my comparison between the second tower and the row in the ground. In each tower I planted a ring of potatoes, followed by a layer of partly decomposed straw left over from last year's straw bale garden, and then a layer of compost. This I followed with another layer of potatoes and more straw and compost until I had used up my 5-pound bag of potatoes. Lastly, I planted 5 pounds of potatoes in the ground and rowed them up. All summer long I faithfully watered my potato towers. The potatoes in the ground were only watered by the rain, although they did need hilled up a couple of times. I resisted the urge to harvest new potatoes either from the towers or the row in the ground, waiting for the potato tops to die back in the fall. The straw and compost had settled quite a bit, and admittedly I had probably planted way too much seed in the little towers, but I hoped for a good harvest. To say the least, I was very disappointed when I realized how few potatoes the towers held. So, are potato tower harvests a myth, Well, it depends on what was promised. First of all, I'm sure there are many improvements that could have been made in how I made, planted, and tended these towers, and I'll watch for your comments on that below. If you have lots of space, good soil, and adequate rainfall, then potato towers are probably a waste of time, unless you just like to experiment like I do, because you will probably get a much larger harvest in the ground. I can see where potato towers would be a definite advantage in a limited space situation, such as on a balcony or in a tiny backyard. And I encourage you not to leave all your potatoes for a fall harvest. There is nothing like a hodgepodge of new potatoes and new fresh vegetables. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and a comment, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video.